Something tragic is going on with the 220-gallon reef tank. Over the past week, I have been scratching my head about what is going on with my corals, and it's stressing me out immensely. Hopefully you guys can help me figure out what's going wrong. I think I may have narrowed down the cause, but I still can't explain why this suddenly happened. I must preface this video by saying that the 220-gallon tank has been doing really well recently. This tank has been running for a year, and the corals have just been doing great. You know, new growth on all of the corals, including new nubs on the SPS, and getting richer and deeper coloration each day. I've been diligently testing my alkalinity, magnesium, and calcium with my Salifert test kits every single day, like a good little reefer I am, and I was really proud that I've managed to keep a straight line of stability with my tank parameters for months. Truly, the tank has been thriving, which is why this situation that's going on seems so odd to me. Before this hellish week began, I noticed that my chaeto in my refugium was, well, melting. All of it was browning out and withering away. And at first I thought, hey, this must be low nutrients. You know, this is a low nutrient issue. The chaeto must not have anything to live off of, you know? I don't have all that many fish in my tank at the moment because my corals have not grown in yet and it just wouldn't make the best habitat for them. But I'm feeding generously and the corals are happy, so I still thought this was kind of odd. And then I checked my light schedule on my Kessel and my refugium, and sure enough, it was set to the wrong light schedule. You know, it was set to this schedule that was a deep blue that was meant for coral growth and must have somehow knocked over the controller during a water change and set it incorrectly, I guess. But okay, great. Buy more chaeto and see how it grows, you know? Everything was fine otherwise. I mean, I was aware that keeping up nutrients now was very important, but everything was looking fairly good. My glass filled up with algae like crazy with the chaeto gone though. A few hours after cleaning the glass each day, it was dirty again. It drove me nuts. I was eagerly waiting for my chaeto to grow in, but couldn't muster cleaning the glass 3 times a day. So just stuck to my normal once a day glass cleaning and back wall bi-weekly clean. I mean, it's really hard for me to reach the back glass of my tank because I'm so short. So sticking to that bi-weekly clean or weekly clean as much as I can. This fact may be important later on. My alkalinity, calcium, magnesium were still within range and very stable. Phosphate and nitrate were on the lower end, but not within danger, you know, not within the danger zone. And then fast forward to the beginning of this past week. I woke up to many of my Acros losing all or most of their polyp extension, and some were significantly more pale. This is bad. This is obviously bad. The next day, my prize Goni started to retract, and that's when I absolutely lost it. This is undoubtedly a water quality issue and a bad one at that. So I did a decent sized water change and my Goni bounced back, you know, have a short sigh of relief, and then waited until the next day just to see how everything settled in, and woke up to a dead Acro. I had a good cry, checked my parameters 3 times over using 2 sets of Salifert test kits that were both brand new, you know, just in case. Want to make sure that this is not, you know, a test kit issue here. Of course, perfect stability on the calc, alk, and mag, but pretty much non-existent nutrients. Wonderful, wonderful news. Went to the local fish store just to double check, and of course, yes, no nutrients. We have no nutrients in this tank. Turn the skimmer off at this point. And now I'm in a bit of a panic about why on earth my nutrients would bottom out overnight and how to even go about resolving this. You know, I've heard great things about Nitro, which is this nitrogen dosing product that increases the nitrate without that bad phosphates of overfeeding, but none was available at my local fish store, and even Amazon wouldn't ship for a few days. So in desperation, I order Nitro and add some Reefroids into the tank. You know, Reefroids, they'll really dirty your tank up really quickly. Now it is Christmas Day. It is Christmas Day, and I wake up to 2 dead Acros. I wake up to 2 dead Acros on Christmas Day. Fantastic. I am now inconsolable, but suck it up because it's time to be with my family for Christmas, you know? So the next day, I do the largest water change I've ever managed on the 220 gallon, and things are looking up. the corals are much happier. They're gaining coloration back and polyp extension back, and they're looking like they're bouncing back into their, healthy state. I still have no idea what to do. The water change is a band-aid, really, so I just let it be. It is now the next day as I am recording this, and I woke up to yet another RTN on my Acro frag. Y'all, I am besides myself, truly. How on earth can your nitrate and phosphates bottom out to this extent within a few days? I guess the warning signs were definitely there, with the chaeto dying. And then once the refugium wasn't working, the algae on the glass was more than likely sucking all of the nutrients out. I mean, this is a large tank. This is a lot of surface area of glass here. So any kind of algae sitting on there is a lot of algae. This should have been a huge red flag, but I foolishly was relieved to see that there was a lighting schedule problem with the Kessel and the refugium, but I really should have investigated further as why this was happening. I mean, I just want a stable bioload more than anything. I mean, is that too much to ask? I want enough fish poop to balance this out. I don't want to have to worry about nitrate and phosphate of all things. I mean, it seems so silly. I need to spend my time on alkalinity and calcium. Back when I started this hobby, I never understood people who complained about having low nutrients in their tank, I mean, I had so much algae and rubbish in my tank that I thought, wow, what a problem to have. But now I understand. Because this is becoming a reoccurring up and down issue here. And this time it had bad consequences. I don't have much experience dealing with low nutrient issues, and I'm really stressed out about this. I mean, I am really stressed out about this. Like, I don't know why I do this to myself with this ridiculous hobby stressed out, My Neo Nitro arrived today, and I'm going to begin dosing that and hoping for the best, cleaning my glass like an utter perfectionist to keep the algae sucking the nutrients at bay, and the skimmer is still off for the time being. This is not the update that I wanted to give. This is not the update I wanted to give you guys. I feel this incredible sense of guilt and fear for what's to come. I mean, I know everything will bounce back here, but losing Acros that were on their way to being little colonies after months of growing and watching them color up, it's truly devastating. It's devastating. I still don't really know how to go about this, assuming that this is a nutrient issue anyway. I haven't ruled out chemicals or candles. This is something needs to be resolved here. If you have any theories about what is going on with my tank, any advice about low nutrient fixing, or had any experiences similar to this, please let me know. I would appreciate any and all advice on this issue. We gotta come up with a solution, y'all. This low nutrient nightmare, it's not for me.